now.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tamika Alexander. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a shooting in Tuscaloosa that left one man dead and another in the hospital. That is tonight's top story. At 4:30 this afternoon, the Tuscaloosa Police Department received a call about a stabbing in King Acres, which is located in the 6400 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. 19-year-old Eddie Clark Jr. was taken to DCH where he was pronounced dead. Shortly after Clark was taken to the hospital, police received another call from the same area from neighbors who heard shots being fired. When officers arrived back at the scene, they found a man had been shot in the leg. Now, they believe both incidents are connected and started because of a domestic dispute.
During the investigation, it was determined that the man that was shot in the leg had been involved in a domestic situation with a female at that trailer. It appears that Mr. Clark and several others in the neighborhood went over there to see what was going on, and for whatever reason, Mr. Clark was stabbed.
Police have a suspect in custody but have not charged him yet. They plan to release additional details tomorrow. Well, area firefighters were hard at work this evening battling a blaze at Duck Creek Commons in Taylorville. According to Battalion Chief David Hallman with Tuscaloosa Fire Rescue Service, the fire started in an apartment's bathroom. Firefighters responded within minutes and evacuated residents from the building. They were able to contain the blaze to the bathroom. A witness says all he was worried about was making sure everyone was all right.
All I think about is helping the old lady get out the house. If I can help her get out the house, then everything else will be all right.
Due to smoke damage at the apartment, the resident who was living at that apartment is having to find a temporary place to stay. Well, a single vehicle motorcycle crash that occurred shortly after midnight claimed the life of a Tuscaloosa man. 41-year-old Kevin Terrell Martin was killed when his motorcycle left the wet roadway and traveled into a ditch. Now, the crash occurred 3.5 miles south of Tuscaloosa on Old Marion Road. The Alabama State Troopers are continuing to investigate the crash. Tonight, Northport City Council met as they routinely do, but for two of the members, tonight is their last night to represent the city of Northport. The meeting was lighthearted as members William Snell and Steve Webb sat in on their last meeting. After going through the meeting agenda, council members said their thanks to the citizens of Northport for letting them represent their city. Other members said their goodbyes, and Mayor Bobby Herndon presented them with plaques in honor of their service to the city. District 1 Representative Steve Webb says he is confident about the future of Northport even without him there.
Northport Council has done an excellent job, and this future here of Northport is very bright. The city's moving forward, we're progressive, financially stable, and it's a wonderful group of councilmen working together with each other now, and I look forward to seeing positive things for Northport from now on.
Now, the new councilman will be sworn in later this month. Well, the University of Alabama is getting ready for its big homecoming weekend. Homecoming is set for Saturday, October 27th, and this year's theme is Timeless Traditions. And speaking of traditions, the First Lady of Crimson Tide football, Miss Terry Sabin, will once again be our celebrity co-host on the award-winning telecast. Game day officials say the parade starts at noon, and WVUA once again will have special live coverage of the parade from the heart of the Capstone. That's Saturday, October 27th, only on WVUA, your home team. Well, today, Alabama Governor Robert Bentley announced a new plan to offer state employees incentives if they voluntarily retire. Bentley wants lawmakers to pass a bill which would pay either 100% of monthly premiums for health insurance for 5 years or offer $15,000 in cash payments. Reporter David Wood from WHNT in Huntsville has more.
Projections from the Alabama Department of Finance show that for every 500 employees who participate in the proposed incentives, total overall savings in salaries and benefits would average between $18 and $26 million a year.
The result will be a state government that is leaner and more efficient.
The goal is to eliminate unneeded positions of those already close to retirement and replace those highly paid positions with young blood. Retirees would have two options. The first, monthly health insurance premiums for up to 5 years.
Or the employee can receive a cash incentive payment of $15,000.
That would be paid out over 2 years. The program doesn't affect education employees, but a separate teacher incentive program could be proposed at a later date.
Allowing workers to retire on their own terms, in my opinion, and I believe the opinion of most Alabamians, is a much better way to do it than to have to go through a mandatory cutback.
Governor Bentley will be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow speaking at the Chamber of Commerce Association of Alabama Conference. The next legislative session is set to begin February 5th. Well, turning now to the weather, let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Richard, temperatures seem to be taking a tumble out there tonight.
Yeah, Tamika, a good Monday night, too. Getting cool in a hurry. Down to 58 now in Tuscaloosa. We're in the upper 70s earlier this afternoon. Some spots hit that 80-degree mark, but temperatures going to quickly drop tonight. Many spots probably going to be in those mid to upper 40s by daybreak tomorrow morning. No clouds, no rain. That means temperatures going to cool off quickly with that clear sky, calm winds, and that dry air mass in place. So here's that bus stop forecast tomorrow morning. A mostly sunny start to the day, but a cool start to the day. Around 48 on average. Plenty of sunshine, so we warm up quickly tomorrow afternoon. How about the rest of that forecast plus your weekend outlook? Weather straight ahead, so stick around.
Thanks, Richard. Today marks the beginning of a bow hunting season across Alabama, and many hunters go to state-owned lands purchased through the Forever Wild Land Trust, a fund set up to help secure public lands for hunting, fishing, hiking, and other activities. Alabama voters now have a chance to continue Forever Wild. WVUA's Travis Leader has more.
We need to allow our 4 or 5 million citizens in this state a place to get outdoors.
And it's up to the voters' hands November 6th if they wish to extend Forever Wild Land Trust. Opponents of Forever Wild say the extra funding would just be a waste of money.
The amount of money that we're paying for someone to go hunt in comparison to what a layoff of a state park worker is just unconscionable.
Lake says Forever Wild has been a benefit for the state as it helps keep the natural identity of the area. But even with the first 2 decades of Forever Wild, he says it's necessary to keep the trust fund in order to continue preservation, which lacks compared to the western states.
In Alabama and in the southeast in general, we don't usually have as much as they have out there, but Alabama has one of the lowest in the southeast.
Which was a reason for some legislators to originally vote for Forever Wild. But now some are saying the program has run its course.
When we implemented it, I thought it was a great program, and I think it's done a great deal, but we spent $300 million out over the last 20 years, and I don't think we need to extend that for 20 more years.
Some opponents are even against what Forever Wild has done throughout its 2-decade history and say it's time for private property owners to take back the land.
It should be put back into production, should make wealth and generate wealth for the private property owner, and in turn would create wealth for the state.
In Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
Now, various lands across West Alabama are Forever Wild land acquisitions. The Sipsey-Sullivan Tract in West Tuscaloosa County was purchased in 1999, while in 2009, the Land Trust acquired the Cahaba River Wildlife Management Area in Bibb County, as well as the Mulberry Folk Wildlife Management Area in northeast Tuscaloosa County. Well, fall and football go hand in hand for the folks over at Kentuck Park. It's a time to appreciate the arts. This weekend will mark the 41st anniversary or annual Kentuck Festival of the Arts. There will be nationally and internationally acclaimed folk artists, free hands-on art making for kids. You can also expect live music, live demonstrations, food, and much more. The festival is this Saturday and Sunday. Tickets are $10 per person per day. All the action starts at 9 that morning and runs until 5 p.m. For more information, just visit our website, WVUATV.com, and click numbers and links. When WVUA News at 10 returns, a preview of tomorrow's presidential debate and what the candidates are expected to talk about. And Crimson Tide head coach Nick Saban held his weekly press conference this afternoon. Gary Harris will have the latest in Alabama's home team sports.